is going on, guys? This is Bradley alongside Zach, and you are listening to the Charm City Sideline podcast. It is Friday, March 6th, 10:30 p.m., and this might be the biggest episode Zach and I have done since starting this podcast about 2 years ago. Ravens trade 2 first-round picks for 5-time Pro Bowler pass rusher from the Las Vegas Raiders, Maxx Crosby. EDC gets it done. The Ravens finally go out and make that big move for a pass rusher. Insane stuff. I know there were some rumors about this the past couple weeks, really heated up the past couple days. Still, I don't think any Ravens fan truly expected this to happen. Zach, how are you feeling right now?
Dude, a big trade's putting it lightly now. This is a massive trade.
Yeah.
First round picks are untouchable in Baltimore. It took 2 to get this guy. We've never done it. We've never moved a first round pick. And you get a year in and year out defensive player of the year candidate. You get the cream of the crop in order to fix the situation of edge. You and me talked about in free agency, these maybe they go after Trey Hendrickson, maybe they want the big fish. This is not even a fish. This is a freaking great white shark that you got on your squad. I am so excited. Basically, consider the freaking jersey pre-ordered at this point. I mean, are you kidding me, dude? I was playing pickleball. My hair looks a little frizzy right now. I just noticed that. And you text me so, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Notifications? Are you kidding me? It seems like they, I heard say, I didn't mean that, great white shark. That's funny though. I just can't believe the Ravens were the ones to outbid a Cowboys who seemed desperate since they lost Micah. Bears, apparently Jags were in on it. Like, everyone had to make the call to see if they wanted him. And the Ravens, of all teams, win the bidding. Unbelievable. I'm completely floored. It's going to suck covering draft stuff now. But, hey, I'm happy to look in the second round plus with you guys. So, what in the heck, man?
Whether it has been receiver or pass rusher, Ravens fans have been wanting, Ozzie at the time to Eric DeCosta to make this move for like over a decade now.
Yeah.
And you could feel it in the air that EDC maybe felt some pressure this offseason. And I'm not sure if he's doing it because of the pressure or if he's doing it because he's like, what else should I even do at this point? Let's just try this route and see what happens. I agree with the decision to do it. I know everyone's, with all the excitement, you are trading away 2 first-round picks. Yep. I would understand a Ravens fan not just being concerned, but maybe even disagreeing with the move. It is the 14th overall pick.
Yeah.
Hopefully the 32nd pick next year. But it is a lot of draft capital. And I would say my first thought now is you have a Hall of Fame pass rusher on the edge. You have Nnamdi Madubuike, who, by the way, posted a video of himself working out earlier today. Nnamdi Madubuike and Travis Jones on the interior with Maxx Crosby on the edge and Tavius Robinson and Mike Green.
Yeah.
With Jesse Minter as the defensive coordinator and play caller. That is insane. So, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, we thought Madubuike was done playing football. And obviously, Maxx Crosby was not on this roster. Now you have an all-pro defensive tackle back in your system, and you have Maxx Crosby on the edge. I mean, that is an insane defensive front.
And I want to put a pin in that because you mentioned DeCosta. the pressure on him was like you said it. It's in the air. You felt it as fans, and we don't know him. We've seen him talk to the media, and that's really the only glimpse you get of him. If John Harbaugh is no longer the I almost said something mean, like the cancer to like this kind of organization, and you get rid of that, now the only blame can be put on DeCosta. We've said that before on here, but I want to make that clear that it's like, okay, if DeCosta can cover his butt in creating a ultra caliber Super Bowl level team, a roster, just in general, and giving this to a coach that we all believe in, but we haven't seen in action, you basically give DeCosta almost like a little break. You're like, hey, you did create the roster to do it. The issue now is 2 first-round picks to do it. Now, that's something you probably evaluate next year, no matter how well this year goes. But I just want to think about for a second how this impacts the organization, not even just a roster standpoint, it's from the front office. Like Bisciotti being aggressive and getting rid of Harbs to get Minter. Now you see Bisciotti possibly / DeCosta being aggressive like we've never seen to get the best available guy of the last few years defensively. And specifically on the defensive line. Like, yeah, Myles Garrett gets thrown around, but that's like an untradeable player. And there's other free agents available, maybe shorter term, younger edge guys available. But those guys never had the big ticket label that I'm sure DeCosta gave to Maxx Crosby, as we all should. So I'm very impressed about the aggressiveness to do this because we all thought it wasn't going to happen. A friend of the program, Sutton, on Program Podcast was like, yeah, it's another almost Raven earlier today. It's like all of us agreed. It's like that can't happen.
Yeah.
Lamar's not getting extended right now, and there's no chance we make the big ticket trade. So we'll have to see what happens for the rest of the group. But for the defense alone, we were scared about having the young defensive line that Minter hopefully molds into his image. Now the shift of focus is completely away from the defensive line, and we're now looking at what might be the best defensive line possibly in Ravens history, and just on statistics standpoint. Holy crap, dude. Cloud9 is putting it lightly.
Yeah, like you obviously give up the first round pick this year, and you give up the first round pick next year. You are getting one of the best pass rushers in the NFL, and you're putting him onto an already talented defense, and now you have, like, just think about the players on this team. We just talked about the D-line. Crosby, Matabike, Travis Jones, Mike Green, Tavius Robinson, Nate Wiggins, Marlon Humphrey, Kyle Hamilton, Malachi Starks, Roquan Smith. The firepower on this defense that Jesse Minter is going to be working with. He had nothing close to this in LA. He had Khalil Mack. He had Derwin James. This is an entirely different unit that he's going to be working with. And he had the Chargers as a top unit in LA the last 2 years. So I'm so excited to see what Minter is going to do with this. And just like the almost change of culture with the Ravens. Like, we've talked about this throughout the offseason, but it's like, how much impact did John Harbaugh really have on this organization? I think he had way more than we thought while he was here. I think very quickly after he was fired, we started to realize more and more and more he had a lot of control over this organization. And I'm not saying this trade wouldn't have happened if Harbaugh was the coach, but just everything we've seen this offseason has been something that, has been unheard of so far as Ravens fans. Super chat here from Ravor is sports. We really appreciate it. Still in shock. Is EDC feeling the pressure? Great trade. Yeah, man. I mentioned this earlier. It's like, it's interesting to know, is EDC feeling the pressure, or is he just like blocking out that noise and is just thinking like, what else do I need to do to get us over the hump this is sort of the only thing he hasn't tried. You've had the
That's true.
blockbuster trade they haven't tried. They haven't tried going after the big pass rusher. They haven't tried going after the big receiver. That's one check off the box. Obviously, you're not going to go after the big receiver for at least a couple of years now, but they made the big trade, and I think he's sort of looking at his hand now and thinking like, what else do I have to do, pressure or no pressure? And I think it's what I would have done too. But like any move like this, it takes balls to do. So shout out to EDC, man.
Yeah, I love that take, dude. Like of what DaCosta has tried to get us to the Super Bowl, it feels like it's extremely impressive, his efforts. Like he's a great GM. He's regarded as an incredible GM. And everything he's done to construct this roster has worked besides that last point, like you said, a blockbuster deal. Basically selling out on your very premier picks in order to get the superstar. That's a great point. And that I think it's Rivori. Rivori is saying like there's still pressure. That's why I like that. I like this because there's still the AJ Browns of the world. I don't think we're going to trade for him now, but I think that there's still names to be floated around that DaCosta seems to be extra locked in for. Because if you're willing to sell out on a Maxx Crosby 2 first-round picks, you might say you'll never trade a freaking pick until both of these years are over now, because he's been stingy with his picks all of his time with Baltimore. But there's still this like aggressive feeling, this pressure, like Rivori says, to get offensive line. I think that's still a big deal. And the fact that we're still talking about that in receiver after what's the biggest trade in the Ravens history is that the Ravens have this pressure to win the Super Bowl. And you just saw the move to push all their chips on the table in order to win it. Like you're favored to win the AFC now. There's still moves to be made. You can push all your chips in the middle, but there's still, a game to be played. It's not like that's all you can do. So we'll see what else he's got up his sleeve. It might just be, using probably 10 picks now to get depth guys that we do need genuinely. But hopefully we'll see signs like a Lamar extension soon, and maybe as soon as tomorrow, especially based off those tweets. Like, there's still aggressive moves, I would say. I'd label as aggressive in order to succeed because, Maxx Crosby fills the need of aggressive. It's probably if they didn't do anything else for the rest of the offseason, we'd be happy. But this feels more than a major need. This feels like an identity and a new feeling and confidence going into the next season. It's more than just the Ravens got the star pass rusher they've always wanted.
100%. And even I mentioned that I wasn't like all in on making this move a couple of days ago when we did a pod. And part of that is because Crosby has played in 22 games over the last, did I do that right? No, 27 games over the last 2 years. So he has missed some time. 69 and a half sacks over a 7-year career, 17 and a half over the last 2 years. Something that everyone needs to think about. He was double teamed maybe more than anyone else in the NFL last year. And part of that, a big reason of that, is because you had Adam Butler and Jonah Lealu on the interior, and you had Malcolm Kuntz on the other side of Maxx Crosby. There was no one around him to take anything away or to make an offense scared of putting two and a chip on Crosby. They didn't have to worry about anyone else when teams played the Raiders. And with that said, he still managed to get double-digit sacks on the year in 15 games. And I've already mentioned it, but then if you double-team Maxx Crosby next year, Madubuike, Travis Jones, and then Mike Green are all going to be one-on-one.
Holy crap.
When Madubuike had his breakout year in 2023 and then also in 2024, he had a bit of a down year in terms of statistics because of how much he was double teamed.
Yeah.
You cannot double team Nnamdi Madubuike next year. Travis Jones in 2025 was double teamed a lot. He's now the third guy if you're talking about a pass rush standpoint. So it is going to be extremely difficult for offenses to formulate a game plan against this defense. And that would be with like a no-name coordinator, and you add one of the best defensive minds in the NFL, along with Anthony Weaver, a defensive line guy, as non-play calling defensive coordinator. I mean, holy shit, man. This is going to be I don't know how you play against this defensive front right now. I literally don't.
This is going to sound really weird. I had this image like of how we've seen the Ravens play the last however long with their rush, their edge rush, pass rush, and how it was basically hopeless. Watching it in a game was like this. Yeah, you're not getting home. Like it was like a depressing feeling, and the imagery of Maxx Crosby in a Baltimore Ravens uniform getting home that first time. Holy crap. I'm giddy. Like this is just the fan in me just purely coming out. Like I think you and me do a pretty good job at staying like analysts as we are fans too. We run, fan pages. But this is just an unbelievable move. Taking a step back and just realizing this is going to be so much fun to watch. And now the anticipation for the entire season is ridiculous. When we had talks of, new head coach, this is one of the most anticipated years of all time, maybe of all time for the Ravens. And now, oh my goodness. And Michael here with a comment. Cowboys tried to trade for him. Maybe I'll try and get Micah. Yeah, great. Yeah, maybe. So winning these sweepstakes feels like a good freaking
They finally had the best offer. You know what I mean? Like they finally were the team that offered the best capital. And I will say, guys, this year, having the 14th overall pick was a big help.
Yeah.
And that played a big role. And then another thing to think about now is like the Ravens' second round pick this year isn't 60th overall. It's 45th.
Yeah.
So they are going to draft a player that is going to majorly contribute next year at 45. They still can add a couple of guys through the draft that are going to have an impact next year. And to listen, I posted on Instagram today. I made one post and I said, would you trade a first and a third for AJ Brown? Almost everyone was like, hell no.
Yeah.
And then I said, will you trade 2 firsts for Maxx Crosby? Slightly less people were like, hell no.
Wow.
I know. And so I was just thinking, like, why does everyone criticize EDC all the time if they don't even want to trade 2 firsts for Maxx Crosby? I'd say about a quarter of the people said, yeah, they would do it. But now everyone's excited about it, which is funny. But anyway, like, oh my goodness, man. Tyler Loop belongs in the Ring of Honor.
Shout out, Tyler.
Like, that was such a heartbreaking moment when Isaiah Likely makes that catch and Tyler Loop misses a field goal. But oh my goodness, every single thing that has happened since then. Put this man in the Ravens Ring of Honor. Build him a statue.
I'm down.
And like, bro, Maxx Crosby I think he's played against the Ravens twice. Absolutely wrecked both games.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely wrecked both games. Probably the Ravens have lost their last 2 games to the Raiders, and I don't even know if I'd say a big reason why. I would say the reason why. So we obviously know the impact that he can have on a game. It is just, I'm shocked. Like, I saw the notification on my phone, Adam Schefter, the Raiders have agreed these guys, I swear, these insiders, they try to put like the oomph to the tweet at the end of it. So like when you're reading the notification, you don't see like what team they went to, or like so you have
I
to
see.
click on the notification. Because I swear Adam Schefter said something like, "The Las Vegas Raiders have finally agreed to trade five-time Pro Bowler defensive end Maxx Crosby to the dot dot dot," and I have to click on the notification. I'm like,
Yep.
who the hell? And I see Baltimore Ravens, and I'm like, holy shit, they actually did it. And then you click on the account and make sure it's a real account, like all those things, and then you're just like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, I can't believe they did it. I just
The I'm very hung up on the price it took to get him. Like that's going to be the one thing that hangs over this whole trade's head no matter what happens. Like the Ravens of Lamar Jackson's time, you don't really find years where they flat out stink. And it wasn't even like a stink. It was what, 8 and 9. Like you don't find a year where Lamar Jackson's bad in the NFL unless there's some serious setbacks. Serious setbacks doesn't even mean, in this case, only an injury. It also means how the rest of the roster is shaped. And we all talked about it, like just going way back to how we wanted the offensive line to look, how we wanted us to address the edge. That whole game plan, which personally I thought looked good going into the season. I think we all loved the roster, said it looked one of the best on paper going into last season. And for that to just go up in flames, like maybe I'm also trying to reason with myself here because the 14th pick is different than what we're thinking of for next year. Hopefully the 32nd, hopefully back into the first round. So you wouldn't feel as awful about it. But the 14th pick, where you said earlier, where this would be a massive help to this team right now, no matter what you get, no matter which one you pick.
yeah.
And to move off of that to get the superstar, a guaranteed superstar to make you win now, instead of a very good first round caliber top 15 pick that takes 3 years to become a superstar, hopefully, best case scenario. You get the guy to go out and become a Super Bowl contender, top of the class Super Bowl contender. I think that's just another level of the aggressiveness I'm seeing, where the 14th pick was supposed to be this massive help to this team. And if I told you that we have a pretty classic Ravens here where we lose very disappointingly in the playoffs and trade that pick away and next year's pick, I don't think it hurts as bad. I think it's because last year was so detrimental. The ending was so awful. You would think that the price to pay would be, oh, a first round pick that's inside the top 15 and it looks like we're going to get a really good guard, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe a guy that falls. Now with giving away this and the next one, I've come to terms that this isn't as big of a loss as we're making it. Yes, it's a first round pick. Yes, we nail first round picks here in Baltimore. But to get the superstar guy that we have begged for this position to be addressed in this way, especially in this way, an elite guy, I think it's worth it. Absolutely. I think that's what you have to tell yourself. First round picks are coveted here. We've never traded one, obviously. And the question's always going to be, was it worth it? So we'll just have to see. I think right now, given the position Crosby's in, how good he is right now, and the Ravens' ultra desire to win right now, as Lamar Jackson is in his prime, it's the perfect mix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like I'll be honest, I was one of those guys that was hating on the Rams when they were doing in
Wow.
the F them picks mode.
Yeah.
I was like, they're gonna suck for 5 years. Guess what? They won the Super Bowl, first of all. Second of all, they missed the playoffs, I think, one season. And then they were back in it.
Maybe. Yeah.
And they weren't bad. I think they were like 7-10. and then they were in the playoffs again the year after that. Like, it's all about hitting on your other picks.
Mm-hmm.
Why the Rams have been able to stay at the top of the league while I think they've drafted one first round player in the last like 9 years. They just traded their first round pick this year for Trent McDuffie.
Wow.
They have hit consistently on their second, third, fourth, even fifth round picks. Puka Nacua, what, fifth or sixth round pick? Like,
Yeah.
they have gotten all stars, all pros on day 2 and day 3 of the draft. And the Ravens are going to have to do that. That's going to be EDC's task over these next 2 drafts. And I would say it doesn't matter so much for 2026, but 2027 and on, these next couple drafts are going to be even more important than they were a few hours ago. These second to fourth round picks, they have to be contributors. You can't miss on these picks.
Can I take this a step further?
Yeah.
Who's to say that DaCosta and those late picks have all been bad? It's not like they have. I don't think you're saying that, but if most people would say that the majority of DaCosta's day 2 and 3 picks have been not necessarily hits, but yet we see these glimpses. We see Emory Jones, we see Peebles, we see Voorhees, even a very late guy that was injured, come in and start. Like, there's honestly great picks for where he got them later on, like Wester we loved, et cetera, et cetera. So many guys you can list. And we saw players get held to some like cap, some capacity of talent with Harbaugh. What can Minter do to excel that, where some guys weren't given the limelight to shine in Harbaugh's time?
Yeah.
Like, giving some benefit of the doubt to some of those guys that we still have on these teams. Okay, but yeah, I'm not necessarily saying Voorhees is like a superstar, but these guys that were drafted late that we still saw glimpses of being a great player at times. Can Minter and his coaching company, his coaching group, bring that into the light? I'm not saying Voorhees is a superstar, but Voorhees did the job. Like Peebles, we saw in glimpses, and he was good.
Yeah.
Teddy Buchanan became a legit stud. Like, there's so many guys you can list. Yeah.
I'll help you out here, Zach.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
EDC has had a couple of bad drafts. Okay, I would say 2019 was not a good draft. Hollywood, Boykin, Justice Hill was a good pick. Ben Powers, Iman Marshall, Dalen Mack.
Ben Powers was good.
Yeah, actually, Ben Powers was good. 2020, great draft. Queen, Dobbins, Matabike, Duvernay, Malik Harrison, Broderick Washington, Prochet, Geno Stone.
Wow.
That is a great draft. 21,
Incredible.
I would say another not great draft. Bateman, OA, Cleveland. Brandon Stevens, though, has been a good player the past couple seasons.
Yeah, I'd actually say it's pretty good.
And then you get into these past couple drafts. 2022. Hamilton and Linderbaum in the first. Second round, David Ojabo did not work out. Travis Jones in the third. Falele, whatever you guys want to say, starter. 17 games for
what
2
it's
seasons
worth.
in a row.
Yeah.
Charlie Kolar, Stout, and Likely, all in the fourth round. 2023. Trenton Simpson in the third, played very, very well after Teddy Buchanan got injured last year. Tavius Robinson in the fourth. 2024, Roger Rosengarten starting right tackle in the second round.
Yeah.
Tez Walker, we've seen flashes in the fourth. TJ Tampa in the fourth. Rasheen Ali in the fifth. And then this past year, Mike Green in the second. We'll see what he ends up developing into. Emory Jones, same thing. Teddy Buchanan, already a starting linebacker,
Stud.
4th round rookie. And then Wester, great punt return, and Peebles, we have seen flashes from. I don't think John Harbaugh was very fond of Aeneas Peebles for whatever reason, but like, he can do it. You look at ADC's drafts, and he's probably somewhere, if I were to rank the last 3 or 4 drafts, rounds 1 through 7, among all GMs in the NFL, he's probably somewhere 5th to 7th or 8th best GM drafting the past couple years. He hasn't been first, second, and third,
Okay.
but he's nowhere near like one of the worst GMs in the NFL in terms of drafting. Guys, go look at like the Niners past couple drafts. You don't even know any of those players. I guarantee you. So, and John Lynch is like known as a good GM. So I am worried, but I'm confident. And like I said, I don't like, you guys got to realize when you have the 14th pick, because you were bad last year, you have the 14th pick of every round. You don't have the 28th pick of every round this year. So you have 45, you have a pick in the 70s. And that helps you out a lot. That's why I do feel a little bit better than if the Ravens were picking at like 29 this year. That second round pick, like I said, is going to be probably starting week 1 next year. Whoever it is, whether it's a guard, whether it's a safety, outside corner. But it's exciting. It's exciting. And obviously there's still going to be a lot of moves that need to be made in free agency. Zach and I will probably not be talking about the exciting guys in the draft, but like we said, day 2 is going to be massive. Those picks are going to be really, really big. So we're going to talk about a lot of those guys. Lamar extension, I think, like, almost think it like has had to have happened.
Feels like it, yeah.
The Ravens, even though they can convert Max, so Zach, you actually sent me this. Spotrac tweeted, a team acquiring Maxx Crosby will be able to process a simple salary conversion on his contract that will drop his acquired cap hit from $30.7 million down to $7.7 million for 2026. Now, obviously, that means his cap hit is going to increase 27, 28, 29, but in terms of this offseason, it'll only be $7.7 million if the Ravens want to do that. However, you cannot trade for a player if you don't have enough cap space for what their contract is currently at. And I don't believe the Ravens have enough cap space to trade for someone with $30.7 million cap hit. So something had to have been done behind the scenes. I have a good feeling that it possibly was a Lamar extension. We obviously saw Lamar tweet the exact same emoji that he tweeted in 2023. I think that was like a day or two before it was announced. So there's a chance that EDC, Lamar, maybe Minter, if it has happened, there could be 3, 4, 5 guys on this planet that know an extension has been completed. If it has been done, we'll figure it out soon. But exciting stuff, Zach.
Yeah, there's going to be so many questions. Like, how do you go at wide receiver now? How do you even care about any more of the defensive line anymore? Do you like it really boils down to depth and how good you can address it at some positions. Like, yeah, we want a starting caliber offensive lineman still. You want to get a second tight end that's good, whether that means re-signing Kohler or likely, hopefully, whatever. So many names to list. But for the rest of your picks that you have, 2nd through 7th round, you're not expecting them to be these first-round caliber guys that are supposed to develop into superstars. That's the expectations for the Ravens nowadays with a first-round pick, that this guy is a future stud for you. Those guys can all have it'll be a little bit more pressure as your first pick in the 2nd round, but they're not going to be asked to do what Kyle Hamilton or Roquan, so many guys that are massive to this team, do on a daily basis, which is going to be nice. Having so many elite players backed up by great depth guys, coached by an incredible guy that gets the most out of especially defenses, but hopefully offenses too. It's going to be special. This just feels special. This was I really didn't think that this was going to happen. I didn't feel like Crosby was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like that was going to be something the Ravens bowed out of, especially as the reports of the Cowboys were going up. Like that felt like the Cowboys were
Yeah.
going to be like, yeah, we've learned our lesson,
Yeah.
etc. This was just a special move, man. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, 2023 was the best year of his career, 14 and a half sacks, 12 and a half in 2022, and then really started getting doubled a lot and
Mm-hmm.
didn't really have any players around him. So I'm so excited to see what it will look like in Jesse Minter's defense. I know Jesse Minter's probably licking his chops thinking about it. And like you look at now, Zach, we've talked about this so many times. When you have an elite pass rush, like your secondary doesn't matter as much. They don't have to cover for as long.
Hmm.
So now you look at like the Ravens defense going into 2026 as I pull it up, and you have my phone is glitching. You have Madubuike, Travis Jones. Okay, we'll say for now Tavius and Mike Green. This
Yep.
is if you're looking at a base defense. Week 1, you're going to look at Roquan and Trent Simpson at linebacker. If you're in dime, this is if they don't make any moves. If you're in dime, if you have to do it, I would say it would be Wiggins and Tampa on the outside, Marlon in the slot, Hamilton and Starks deep. If they weren't allowed to make any moves, that is what the defense would look like right now. That's pretty freaking good.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously there's things you'd like to do. You'd like to have Tampa be the number 3 corner. You would like Hamilton to be able to be down in the box, so they need a starting safety, they need a starting corner, but they don't need to spend $12 million on a corner or a safety now
Right.
because they don't need a superstar secondary with a pass rush this good.
Mm-hmm. My focus really shifts offensively. Like
Yeah.
I hope the picks are good enough that Minter gets the most out of them. You talked about the Chargers' 4th, 5th round corners last year that were
2
turned
years
into
ago, yeah.
starters. Sorry. Like, if we can put all focus in the offense now in real, I'd say like money forward thinking instead of draft wise, like you're answering every question that we had for the offseason. Yeah, you probably need to spend some money at offensive line. Yeah, you're going to have to figure out this if you want a wide receiver or not, how you're going to get one. But as long as that defense is how it looks right now, I mean, the sky's the limit. Like the Ravens still have this offseason. They might not get the biggest of offensive linemen, biggest ticket of offensive linemen or anything like that. But I think that there's still like guys out there that can do the job enough to where you would be the successful team we're talking about and hoping for. It doesn't necessarily take any more big tickets. I would take them as a fan, but you are at a kind of the tipping point of you have acquired about every superstar possible to get to the Super Bowl. It's about the rest of the roster and how it's built up to actually get there at this point. Like you're going to have to hit on those later picks like we talked about.
Yeah, I like that. It's like the Ravens are not missing a star anymore.
No.
It did kind of feel like they were missing one more playmaker on whether that was offense or defense. The past couple of years when they came up short, it felt like they were missing one more big time guy. And they have accomplished that. And now it's like getting a guard that plays much better than Daniel Falele. Getting a corner that stays healthy, getting a safety that is a step above Alohi Gilman or, Marcus Williams of 2 years ago. Like those are sort of the moves you are thinking about now. And if this Lamar extension is done or will get done,
yeah,
even with the Maxx Crosby trade, they have a ton of money if the extension gets done. So like I would look at it now, Zach, as like I would sign 2 offensive linemen, McGovern, Teller, whatever, and then just like draft defense. Like that's I think you put yourself in a bit of a rough spot by trading obviously your next two first round picks, but like I think that is probably how they'll go about it. And that would look like a pretty good roster to me. And you obviously sign a couple veterans on cheap deals. You can get some guys that really outplay their contract numbers,
Oh yeah.
like Wouzier last year, things like that. So, um, I agree with you. I'd say they really focused to offense during this first week, 2 weeks of free agency, and then kind of go from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have any other thoughts?
No, I was so freaking excited, man. Oh my god. This is just unbelievable.
It does not feel real. Like Maxx Crosby feels like a Raider to me, and it's gonna be weird getting used to him in a Ravens uniform. But yeah, that first sack, hopefully week 1 is gonna be
Him coming off the edge too. Oh my goodness gracious.
yeah. And this really has overblown. I know we've talked about it multiple times in this pod, but like guys, Matabike is coming back. Like
Little workout video today too.
it's
Come on.
crazy. It is so crazy.
Come on.
This offense, not offense. This off season could not have gone better so far.
Yeah.
So, I guess if you don't have any final thoughts, Zach, if I don't have any final thoughts, let me make sure we're not missing anything else. But yeah, really appreciate you guys for joining us on this Friday evening. I don't even know what day it is. Helping us break this news.
Mm-hmm.
We will obviously be playing it by ear the next couple of days, weeks. Lamar extension, obviously, we'll see if that ends up happening. I think we still plan on going live Sunday night, just to talk about free agency a little bit. Obviously, maybe not as much to talk about now, but there will still be things to talk about, not just with the Ravens, but around the league as well. So if nothing else happens, we will see you guys Sunday night. And we really appreciate you guys. If you haven't liked the video, hit the subscribe button. And thank you so much for being here with us guys tonight. And hope everyone has a great weekend. See you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.